everyone, it's week 6. This week I'm doing a sketchbook tour. It's kind of important to me because I'm 38 years old and this is the first sketchbook I've ever finished in my life. I've been drawing since I was a tiny child, since I could hold a pencil, and I've never ever once finished a sketchbook. There's probably a few reasons for that. One, I just like to draw on whatever's around. Scraps of paper, napkins, the little wrapper that goes around utensils at the restaurant. I wasn't good at keeping one of these around with me. I had sketchbooks that were just way too big. They were good for at home, but not for travel or carrying around with me. This one I finished is a Moleskine. I really like this one. It's a hardback, it's durable. The little strap around the front keeps it closed, fits in my pocket. I think the other reason I was never good at finishing one of these, I was just being way too precious with it. Sketchbooks should be for sketching, practicing, studying. This is where your ideas get pinned down, fleshed out. You do character designs, plans, thumbnails for larger finished pieces. You have to allow yourself to be not perfect. I was not good at that. I wanted everything to be polished and finished. That's just not what these are for. That's not a sketchbook. That's an art book. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you could, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Everybody's been great so far. All right, let's take a look at this. All right. I picked this sketchbook up in Vancouver, BC. My wife and I had some time to kill, and I needed something to do, so I picked this guy up. This was on February 9th, 2019. This first sketch wasn't actually in my sketchbook. It's been pasted in here, if you couldn't tell. It's Usagi Yojimbo. I've liked that character since I was a little kid. Super cool. Here is a character design for a weird old school wrestling game my buddy and I are working on. This is Dr. Magomed. He's a Russian doping scientist, super into steroids. Should be pretty cool whenever we end up finishing that. Here's the initial sketch I did for the Winnie the Pooh video. That was week 3. This is just some random stuff. It's old hillbilly guy. Threw some watercolors on top of. Here's a cow. I was just trying to draw from memory, like no reference photos or anything. Ended up looking like what an alien would draw if you described a cow to them. Here's a weird little bird I drew. It's like a mix between a crow and a phoenix. Some other random stuff. There's a weird frog guy face. Trees, some mountains. I drew this while my wife and I were on a trip to Colorado. This sketchbook has been everywhere with me. It was in Vancouver, back home to Portland. Went with us on to the move to Missouri, went to Pennsylvania. We went to see Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water House. Went to Chicago to UFC 238. The Colorado Springs trip to visit her family where I drew this. Tennessee for the Exit 111 Music Festival. All by car, so I had a lot of time to sketch. So this was, I don't know where I drew this, but this was the road, and then I drew a little weird little turtle monster thing in the background. A quick little piglet sketch I was doing for some reason. A tree that didn't get really fleshed out. There's a creepy version of Piglet. Again, I don't know why I did that. Here's another tree. Another game my buddy and I were working on is a role-playing module. So we're trying to make these weird, creepy things. This is for like a weird tree that has like a fountain in the middle of it to entice people in, and then it eats them. Again, that should be pretty cool whenever I finish that. These were sketches for what ended up being my logo. Just a jackalope and a little baby goat, kind of button heads. It's kind of same thing on these 2 pages. This is another sketch of that tree character that I was working on. I like this one a little better. It's a little more, like that is more of a jagged mouth. I can throw a couple of different versions of that. So still haven't settled on a final design for that guy. That's what ended up being the final sketch for my logo. We were going to put it on a flag for when we went to go to the Exit 111 Music Festival. Just nice to have something above your car so you can see where your camp is at. I didn't end up finishing in time though. It was like a weird steampunk robot, or not robot, rabbit with some horns. We'll work on that logo. Here's some did some designs for another game. It was going to be like a side-scrolling shooter, like a Galaga type thing, and I just wanted to draw some weird little spaceships that had more of a like a vintage car look to them. So these are kind of based off of a Roadster, and then a little bit off of the Vipers from Battlestar Galactica. Just kind of meshing them together. There's a more finished version of that tree. I don't know why it's on every other page. I think I was just going back and filling in the back sides of the pages, which I wasn't doing at first. Here are some more crazy spaceships for that game. That was the final Roadster design that I was coming up with. Really like how that turned out. Some other weird spaceshipy things. There are a lot of groundhogs in the Midwest off to the side of the road. So as we were driving around on one of our trips, that's why I drew that guy. Turned out all right. Some weird fish head creature. This was just a bunch of random stuff. I think I was trying to come up with some more monsters and stuff for that game. Like some wraiths or something. There's some sketches for the Sasquatch drawing I did. That ended up getting torn out and given to my dad. I thankfully took a picture of it though, so I cut that out and pasted it back in. I think this was for a prompt for a challenge of some sort. It's supposed to be the Hulk, and he had a little chicken in his hand. That obviously didn't go anywhere. Some more creature designs for that RPG module. It's all creepy swamp related stuff, so I was trying to make like a swamp dragon, combining like real life like alligator, crocodile kind of anatomy with the dragon. This is pretty close to finish here. I really like the head that I came up with there. Need to get back to work on that at some point. Some more body shots. I was going to take that idea and kind of move it along with the other stuff. So with the wyverns, I went with more of like a pelican body. I really like how these turned out. Alright, this was also for that RPG module. I went through, there's a couple of pages here of just like weird shrimp heads, and I could never quite get it. Shrimp heads are really weird looking, and I think even if you do get them right, they just don't look right. So I just dropped that one eventually. Yeah, there's another couple of pages of the same thing. And here are the little goblins for that story idea, for that RPG module. They're like little frog goblins. I'm calling them gomlocks. Got pretty good on, this is a full design. I'm pretty happy with this. Shots of the body and the anatomy. Went through a couple of different phases of trying to figure out how amphibious I wanted them to look. Went through a bunch of their items that they would carry with them. More stuff for the module. There's a village with some fishermen around this creepy, like, haunted lake, and the fishermen are going to use these weird. They're going to be like the fishermen in, I can't remember if it's Thailand or if it's Vietnam. They're fishermen that use cormorants to get the fish for them. So I wanted to run with that idea and make an even smaller wyvern based on those. And I really like where this was going. Some more little wraith sketches. This is our dog Jack. Where were we? This was in Colorado. We were having dinner at my wife's uncle's house and just sketching the dog while he was hanging out on the patio. This, what was this? This I heard a story about some kid who was played D&D with his grandma, and it was a really cool story. There's a video somewhere. I was going to draw that character in a really kind of detailed painting, but never got around to it. I've just been too busy to revisit that. So it's just a gnarled tree in the moonlight. Just trying to cross a hyena and a possum with this. So trying to keep the kind of the shape from the possum's head, yet still give it like the hyena jaws. I'm gonna probably come back to this for that RPG module and flesh this out some more. I liked where it was going. You can kind of see both of them meshed into that one drawing there. This is a sketch of my RPG character. It's a gnome named Merwick Ranswacket. I haven't played in forever, but that is my character if I do play again. I'm gonna integrate him into the game somehow when we make the module, so that's why I was sketching him. I'm gonna make the fairies in this module super creepy. They're gonna be these weird, like, carnivorous mushroom people. That's what this is. I really like this. Was a quick, easy one. I really like where it went, so I'll be fleshing those out at some point as well. It's a creepy, like, anglerfish amphibian. Not quite sure if I'm happy with this one yet. I like aspects of it. Really like that one. This one, the legs are weird, so I like the shape on that one too. So we'll see where those go. That should be pretty interesting. We're in Missouri. We've got a lot of birds out here that I'm not used to from being back home in Portland. We got cardinals, and they're super cool looking. So I'm sitting on the patio, sketched one of them up. I did this when my dad was visiting. Definitely, because I did this when my niece was over, and I was watching her, and we were watching Teen Titans Go. Don't remember this guy's name, but he was cool. Decided we'd sketch him. Here's a creepy hermit for that module. There's a kid that got lost out in the swamp, and no one knew where he went, and the adventurers eventually will stumble across him. He's completely lost his mind. So. This was a Tin Man sketch I did. There's a print of this up in my Etsy shop, actually. So that was the original sketch. There's a sketch of Mr. Piffles. If you don't know who Mr. Piffles is, you should Google him because he's amazing. This was a hyena, a picture of a hyena I took at the zoo in St. Louis. Didn't go very far with that. It's a cool moonshiner that I was drawing. I think I'm going to do a few more of these. I've got some little cast iron pans I found at some vintage shops that I'm going to use for some painting backgrounds. So stay tuned for that. Where did I do this? I did this at the Exit 111 Music Festival, I believe. Or at least on the drive out there. And then I colored it in when we got there. Just using some koi watercolors that are in my travel kit. There are some little planning sketches for this next page. For this doozer that I drew. The colors didn't quite go where I wanted them to, but again, I was traveling. These were done at the music festival, and just kind of got to go with things. It's a creepy disemboweled teddy bear. It's a flamingo. I did these with some. I did these with the Arteza watercolor pens or brush pens. I like how that turned out. Those ones have really vibrant colors. I don't think they blend very well. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do like using them when they're bright colors and stuff, and they work really well for feathers. Again, both of these were done at that music festival. This is a drawing of Michael Bisping from the UFC. He got one of his eyes completely screwed up in a fight, and I don't know if it's completely missing, but I know he's got at least a partial fake eye. So he kind of with like a weird cable energy thing coming out of his eye socket there. This was based off of Jim McKenzie's Scarecrow. Again, if you don't know who that is, look him up. He's an amazing sculptor. I think he's in LA. Again, this was done at the music festival. Started working on a saber-toothed tiger. Didn't go very far with that. I think that was like last day, right before we left. I didn't have a whole lot of time to finish that one. There's a page missing here. I cut that out, or I took a picture of it, and that'll be later in the book. I was catching up on The Walking Dead. I got to the season with Judith when she was old enough to actually speak, so that's her from that season. She's super cool. Just some weird mouse head that I drew. This was just a loose drawing. I just started with some shapes and kind of went with it and ended up turning into this weird mask, skull mask thing. Here's a drawing of Laika, the space dog. Here's an armadillo that I'm working on for a logo for a music project. Kind of covering that up right now because I'm not ready for that to be out there yet, but that's close. This is probably close to what it'll end up being. There's a little Baby Yoda sketch from watching The Mandalorian. A weird little Krampus. This started out as something else. I think this started out as a Santa and it just fucking went wrong. So it turned out okay though, and there's a little rough color in there. Here's some plans for one of those other moonshiner pieces I'm going to work on and throw into the cast iron pan. It'll be more of a landscape and there'll be a still. That should be pretty cool. This is when I was first planning to do this YouTube channel and to give myself the goal of finishing a piece every week. I went through and did some quick stuff, give me some ideas. I tried to really plan out. I've got a whole spreadsheet on my Google Drive of just ideas and prompts and challenges for months and weeks, and that way if I hit any point where there's where I'm hitting a block, I can check that and run with it. So also got some notes written in here of some people to use as inspiration for that. So these are just real rough sketches though. Just some stuff for Mermaid. We'll see. I'll probably end up using some of that later on. Here were the sketches for my first video of the year for the robot dragon. It was kind of the evolution from the original dragon that I started with, and then I started thinking about doing the robot part with the wings. And if you go back and watch week 1, you can see how that turned out. This was going to be for Creature Noir. The prompt was for a rhino goat, or goat rhino. I don't remember what the order was, but I was starting to do some studies, and that was about as far as that went. Another picture of an armadillo. I was just practicing so that I could work out that logo a little bit better. Just doing a little study of one of those little guys. Got a lot of them out here in Missouri. I've never seen one alive though. There's a lot of roadkill on the side of the road. Here's some more thumbnails for video planning. I think a lot of the rest of these are going to be based on the rest of the year. The videos that I've been doing since we're pumping those out. I thought about doing a Year of the Rat, like a Chinese New Year. I did a couple of sketches. That's about as far as I went, though. It's the original idea for the Winnie the Pooh design. Some more Chinese New Year rat designs. Kind of like where I was going with that one. If I would have done it, I think I would have ended up doing something like this, something more of like a gesture drawing, just a little more fleshed out. This is the dragon design that I did for week 5. I'm actually starting to lose count. That's a good thing. Ended up lightboxing that and putting that directly onto the painting. Those were just some weapons. I was thinking about doing those into one of the mountains, one of those sketches. I'll probably still do that at some point. I like that idea. Just a silhouette. Some more painting designs. These will definitely get done in the future. It's going to be some creepy, like, haunted spaceman. It's the same as on this page over here. I'm going to do a similar thing with an old deep sea diver. Another painting that I'll end up doing, it's going to be a jackalope forest spirit. So just some practicing for some stained glass painting designs. I've got a couple of those paintings coming up, and I think for the ones I'm going to do next are going to have this kind of a design in it, but I'm just practicing different patterns that I could use in the background, making notes. Some more sketch ideas for some more stained glass kind of stuff. I'm probably going to do a ton of that, just because I think it's a good idea for a coloring book, and I'd like to, at the end of the year, have something that I can produce and put out for you guys. So some more ideas and just subject matter, and like a dragon sketch, some other things that I thought might work. Some more patterns for the background. Those I'll probably do digitally and then lightbox onto the paintings, just because there's going to be a lot of precision in some of these. It's going to be real tedious to do by hand. That's the painting that I did, that I cut out earlier that I said was later. This was for our camp neighbors at the Exit 111 Music Festival. They had a really cool Jägermeister flag that I'd never seen. I'm not a fan of Jägermeister. I think it tastes like crap, but I really like the design, and I wanted to do my own version of it since we'd been sitting and I'd been staring at it. This was a drawing from Charmath's Creature Challenge. Don't remember what month that was, but it's an older one. Just got pasted in here. That was a sketch I did for Inktober that I meant to finish up and I never did. It's like an exaggerated cartoon version of Les Claypool fishing. Starting to get into some more recent stuff. These were all just within the last week or so. I'm watching a new documentary called Nature at Night on Netflix. So just sketching some stuff that was in there. It was a really cool night shot of the savannah, cheetah. This was just a weird sketch. It's another loose one where I just started drawing and just kind of tried to see where it went. An Ewok face, just drawn that and wanted to do it without drawing his hood. This is a caribou. I went to get my hair cut the other day, and they have a caribou head up in the barber shop, so I was just sketching that while I was waiting. Just working on some more fire patterns to see, trying to figure out what kind of a fire pattern will work on the stained glass designs. Here I actually started really planning for one of those. This isn't the one I was talking about with those squiggly lines. This will probably be like 6 or 7 weeks out, but I'm going to do like a framed dragon head. Really like the composition of this one, so I was just kind of working through stuff. I like the head on this one, so that'll be pretty close to the end design. There's some stuff over here, trying to plan out what I want to do with the framing. Again, I like the stuff that was on the thumbnail sketch up there, so I'll probably just enlarge that and use that as my base. There's more planning for another another painting down the road. Probably be another couple months out. I'm going to draw, paint a phantom possum. Instead of hanging down, he's going to be kind of flying up and holding himself down. This is going to be a fun one. I'm also going to be challenging some other artists to draw this in their style, so keep your eyes open for that. It's another, I think this was yeah, we were watching that nature documentary still. Sketched this the other night just in bed, just using a brush pen, just super loose. I just wanted to see what I could do as far as getting the other little fish around. There's the finished sketch for the phantom possum that I'll be doing. Again, that's probably still another couple of months out, but that's gonna be a fun one. I'm going to do another painting on one of those blank pieces of wood. So I traced the piece of wood out, and I'm just going to do like a Bob Ross style painting. Probably just use gouache this time on the wood. See how that turns out. Do this morning while I was watching TV before work. I saw a video or something. I don't even remember what it was, but something had like a square head. So I kind of wanted to start drawing something with a square head and just exaggerate the features and have some fun, and ended up turning into this hungry pig boy. This is the final page. I'm going to do a time lapse, sketch this in, so you can watch me finish the sketchbook for real. There's a sketch for the RPG module. It's going to be a crazy tree monster that hangs around with that other tree monster that I was designing. These ones will be mobile though, while that other one is kind of fixed to the ground. And the final sketch in here, I just did this in pen at work one day. Just a cool hyena head from memory. It's a lot of fun. I really like hyenas. And that's it. I finished one. All right, I did it. That's it. Got a new sketchbook coming. This is almost exactly a year this took me, which I'm super happy about. I'm gonna be doing way more, filling these up way quicker from now on. Coincidentally, we're taking a trip to San Francisco, so that's where I'm gonna get my first stuff done in the new one. Seems to be a bit of a tradition now for me to just get this stuff done on a trip. Should be awesome because we're gonna go see Mr. Bungle. It's one of my bucket list bands. All right, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. The support so far has been amazing. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm starting to do commentary on these, so if there's a part of the process or something you want me to discuss, please let me know in a comment below. And if you could, please subscribe. It is so much more helpful than I can describe to you if you can just subscribe to the channel. The way YouTube does their numbers, I need you guys to. So I appreciate it. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye.